Whenever you start a new run through WWE 2K22's MyGM mode, you're always met with some key decisions. Which superstars are you going to draft? What GM are you going to choose to be? There's a lot to decide before you even get started. Perhaps one of the most important decisions you have to make is which brand you choose to go with. Each one of them offers their own unique power card that you're free to use in any week that you choose, but you only get to use it once. So this video will be comparing each brand's power cards and letting you know which one is the best to go with. So once you've chosen to start a new GM save and you've chosen the GM you want to use, you're going to be met with this screen here. This is obviously where you're going to be choosing which brand you want to go with, and to be honest, they've all got some pros and cons, so we're just going to go through each different one and tell you exactly what they do. So first we're going to look at Smackdown's Birth of Legends power card. So this card allows 6 random superstars on your roster to have their popularity increased by +6. This card is great for late game because you can use it on a show that might be a bit of a dud after a pay-per-view, and it allows you to kind of make that show a bit more popular with the fans. Even though the 6 superstars that it chooses are random, you can still use them in that dud of a show after the PPV. Which means you should retain quite a lot of your fans, probably even make some fans because everyone enjoys watching those superstars now. And one of my favourite things about this card, and probably the thing that sets it apart from the others, is that it affects your shows after it's been used as well as the week that it has been used in. For example, 6 of your superstars have been boosted, so for the next 4 or 5 weeks you can put on great shows with those superstars and really build on that increased popularity. Also, if you get the timing right with this, you can seriously make some moves in your pay-per-views. Say I use this a week or 2 before one of my biggest pay-per-views, let's just say WrestleMania, I can then see which superstars were boosted and then potentially work them into the pay-per-view even if they weren't in my thought process before. It's just a nice card to have to make sure that that show is definitely going to pop. And like I said, you've then got those increased superstars for the next few weeks to use and really build on to make some stars. Alternatively, if it doesn't go for the lesser known superstars and boosts your main guys, that's almost arguably as good, because then your main events and your opening matches are really gonna pop off. It'll make it so much easier to blow the opposing brand's PPV out of the water, and then continue to blow them out of the water the 4 or 5 weeks afterwards. So that's Smackdown's card. I don't particularly think there's many negatives to it, I just think having the random superstars might be the only one you can think of. Just because it would be nice to be able to choose which ones get an increase. But to be honest, it's still a very solid card, and definitely one that I will be choosing most of the time. So now if we go back onto Raw, they've got the This Is War power card. This card is potentially great. Now what I mean by that is that 3 randomly selected superstars being vetoed on the other brand is really powerful. But it's only powerful if the right superstars get vetoed. If some of their really unpopular wrestlers that aren't really getting any matches get vetoed, it's not going to affect them too much. On the other hand, if their male or female champion gets vetoed, then that could be massive for your rating difference. A major setback for this card is that you can't use it before a PPV, which is obviously when you're going to want to harm your opponents the most. So for me, there's too much left up to chance for this card to be a really solid one. Either it's going to seriously affect your opponents, or it's barely going to do anything at all. I guess overall it's okay though, because at least they're taking out options that they could be using to regain stamina. In the worst case example, of course. I don't know, maybe I'm being too harsh on this card, but I personally think it just leaves too much up to chance. So that was Raw's power card, This Is War. We're now going to move on to NXT, which will give you the Fighting Champion power card. Now I really like this card because it's extremely powerful when you use it in the right circumstance. As you can see, title matches booked for this week will receive a large match rating boost, which could seriously change your show from being just a good show to a phenomenal one. Most of these cards are situational, and this one is no different. If you can save this and use it for a PPV where you've got a title match in the opening match and a title match in the main event, it's really going to make a difference. But even if it's not a PPV, you can use it in other circumstances. For example, if the opposing brand is pulling away from you in terms of fans or catching up to you, you can use this and almost guarantee a very popular show, which will either put you clear of the opposing brand or that step closer to catching them. The major disadvantage with this card obviously is that it can only be used for 1 week. Now obviously every single card can only be used for 1 week, but if you go back to Smackdown's card, that has a longer lasting effect. Sure, it'll boost your ratings for this week, but it's not going to guarantee you good shows next week. With that being said, if you can hold this card for a pay-per-view where you've got a level 4 rivalry and a title match on the line, you're pretty much guaranteed to get a 5-star match, especially if you book them in a Hell in a Cell or a TLC or another stipulation that kind of makes it a bit more interesting. Then you can double that up with the female title on the line and the male title on the line, and you should be able to get 2 4.5-star plus matches in one pay-per-view. Moving on to the fourth and final card, it's NXT UK's International Takeover. Now, I'm not really sure where to begin with this card. It somehow kind of convinces you that it's useful, but it's not really useful in the slightest. So as you can read, your network deal is tripled if you gain fans this week, otherwise it will only be doubled. So this is the only card where you kind of have to achieve something in order for it to work properly, which doesn't really make any sense to me, seeing as it's supposed to be a power card that gives you an advantage in any circumstance. But no, if you don't put on a good show, then you're not going to get the full benefits of the card. So immediately I would not be using this card in any circumstance whatsoever, unless the tripled money from the network deal is $4 million. But no, it's only $36,000 more than you'd get originally. So for every show you get an $18,000 network deal. If you use your International Takeover card for this week, it will then be tripled to $54,000. But if you lose fans, then it only doubles to $36,000. Seeing as each mediocre show makes about $200,000 on average, with the better shows making upwards to about $400,000, an extra $36,000 in 1 week really isn't going to make a difference at all. You're not going to be able to sign a superstar, you're not going to be able to put on great matches, it's really not that much of a boost. I mean, even a Hell in a Cell match costs $35k on its own to put on. So what this card essentially is a free Hell in a Cell match if you can meet the requirements that it's put on you. So yeah, for me, this is the worst card by a mile. There's way too many negatives and barely any positives. A power card that gives you a stipulation to get the full benefit from it is never going to go down well, especially as it gives you such a measly bonus. So that was our video going through each of the different brands to choose from in WWE 2K22 MyGM mode. Clearly the best brand is Smackdown, as it lasts more than the week it's used for and affects a multitude of superstars. The second best is NXT, as it can really define a PPV for you and boost your ratings up, which can then be taken advantage of in the weeks to follow. The third best would then be Raw. It has some really great potential effects to the opposing brand, but as I previously mentioned, it's totally random, so you are at risk of it doing nothing at all. Finally, we have NXT UK, which is clearly the worst. If you watched our playthrough of GM mode where we had to keep $1 million in the bank at all times, you'll know that this boost in money, even if it is tripled, is not really that helpful. So there you have it. Hopefully you're well informed now to always choose SmackDown if you want to win, or to choose NXT UK if you fancy a bit of a challenge. If you are new around here, please do subscribe to the channel for more guide videos just like this one. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.